Discipline is the difference between who you are and who you could have been. Every moment you delay, you lose ground in the battle against your weaker self. This isn't about motivation. It's about control. Control over your mind, your emotions, your habits, your reactions. Because in the end, there's only one war worth fighting, the one within. And only one rule: you win, or you repeat the lesson until you do. This is the art of self-discipline, winning the inner battle you've been lied to your whole life. You've been told to find your motivation, to wait until you feel ready, to get inspired. But here's the brutal truth: motivation is emotion. It rises, it fades, it lies to you. One day it's there, the next it's gone. If you build your life around motivation, you'll build your life on something that changes with the weather. That's why most people never build anything real. They wait for the spark before they move. They wait for inspiration before they act. They waste years getting ready. But here's the thing: you don't get ready, you get disciplined. Motivation is the spark. Discipline is the engine. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you moving. And if you want to win the inner battle, you have to build systems that move you even when your emotions won't. That's the key. You need a structure that doesn't care how you feel. You need habits that don't ask for your mood's permission. You need a plan that runs even when you don't feel like running it. Look at elite soldiers. They don't wake up asking, "Do I feel like training today?" They wake up and execute the plan. They don't wait for motivation, they rely on the system. They've trained their minds to trust the process more than the feeling. You have to do the same. Because the truth is simple: when motivation dies, discipline decides. Say it again: when motivation dies, discipline decides. That's the difference between amateurs and professionals. Amateurs are moved by emotion. Professionals are moved by structure. You have a choice. You can keep waiting for the perfect mood, or you can create the conditions that make action automatic. That's what a system does. It eliminates choice. It removes hesitation. It replaces "I'll do it later" with "it's already scheduled." Think about it. When you wake up and brush your teeth, do you need motivation for that? You do it because it's part of your system. It's a behavior so ingrained that it happens whether you feel like it or not. That's how discipline works. You automate success. So how do you build that? Start with one repeatable habit. Wake up at the same time every day. Train your body even when it's cold, even when you're tired, even when no one is watching. Do it until it becomes muscle memory. That's when your system starts carrying you. Your system is your safety net against laziness. Your system is your armor against inconsistency. Your system is your weapon against weakness. Most people rely on motivation because it's emotional candy. It feels good for 5 minutes and then it fades. Systems are different. They're boring. They're repetitive. They're mechanical. But they work. Because while other people are chasing hype, you'll be chasing structure. And structure always wins. Here's the truth you need to accept. You don't need to feel inspired to act. You need to act to feel inspired. Action first. Emotion second. That's how you reprogram your brain. Because every time you act without emotion, you're teaching your mind who's in charge. You're showing it that you move, not because you feel like it, but because it's what's required. That's the shift, when you stop asking, "Do I feel like it?" and start saying, "This is just what I do." You remove choice. You remove hesitation. You remove doubt. You become the kind of person whose system runs stronger than their excuses. Repetition builds momentum. Every day you show up, you add another brick to your foundation. Every rep, every habit, every morning you execute, you're wiring your brain for consistency. You're proving to yourself, "I do what I said I'd do." You have to remember, your brain learns through repetition. Whatever you repeat, you become. If you repeat excuses, you become inconsistent. If you repeat execution, you become unstoppable. So stop chasing emotion. Start chasing repetition. Because repetition is what turns weakness into strength, distraction into focus, chaos into order. It's not sexy. It's not exciting. But it works. That's why discipline feels boring. It's supposed to. Discipline isn't about feeling alive in the moment. It's about building a life that gives you peace long-term. Every system you build is a vote for your future self. And every time you skip it, you're voting for the same old version of you. The one who waits, who hesitates, who needs motivation just to start. Here's what I want you to remember. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is structural. Motivation is about feeling ready. Discipline is about being reliable. Motivation asks for inspiration. Discipline demands execution. You don't need their permission. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to move. That's the key. That's the secret. That's the way out. Stop romanticizing motivation and start respecting repetition. Because the person who moves without motivation is the one who wins without competition. Build your system. Wake up early. Plan your day the night before. Keep your phone out of reach when you work. Set clear non-negotiables. Then guard them like your life depends on it, because it does. You can't win the inner war without a structure to protect you. Your mind is built to drift, to chase comfort, to take shortcuts. Your system is what brings it back to order. It's what keeps you moving when your emotions pull you off track. When you master your system, you master yourself. You don't rely on hype, you rely on habit. You don't depend on excitement, you depend on execution. You don't beg for motivation, you build momentum. So the next time you say, "I don't feel like it," remember this. You're not supposed to feel like it. You're supposed to do it anyway. That's discipline. That's structure. That's victory. Every great transformation begins with one small system, one consistent act repeated over and over until it becomes who you are. That's how you turn routine into identity. That's how you turn habit into power. That's how you win the inner battle. And when that system becomes your lifestyle, you stop asking, "How do I stay motivated?" Because the answer will always be, you don't. You stay disciplined. You've learned that motivation fades but systems never fail. Now it's time to take control of the next battlefield, your emotions. Because discipline without emotional control collapses under pressure. Let's go deeper. Chapter 2. Master your emotions before they master you. You will never win the inner battle until you learn to control your emotions. Because emotions, not effort, not intelligence, not talent, are what destroy most people's progress. They react too fast. They speak before they think. They quit before they calm down. They burn bridges in moments they could have built empires. You have to understand this. Emotional control is not suppression. It's self-command. It's not about pretending you don't feel. It's about deciding what those feelings are allowed to do. You can feel anger, but you don't let anger steer the wheel. You can feel fear, but you don't let fear dictate the plan. You can feel doubt, but you don't let doubt stop the mission. That's the key, to feel everything but react to nothing until it serves your purpose. That's real power. Not the power to control others. The power to control yourself when everything around you demands a reaction. Anyone can stay calm when life is easy. But real strength is staying composed when your world is on fire. When people test you, when things fall apart, when emotions spike, that's when your discipline is tested. You have a choice in that moment, react or respond. And your choice will determine your direction. Say it again, control your reaction or lose your direction. Every emotional outburst is a step backward. Every impulsive decision costs you control. And control is everything. Think about the people who never seem to progress. They explode when criticized. They overthink every failure. They panic under pressure. They act on emotion instead of strategy. They are prisoners of their impulses. That's why they stay stuck. You can't build a disciplined life on an undisciplined mind. You can't win long-term if you're emotionally unstable short-term. So here's what you must learn, the pause principle. 5 seconds of silence can save you from 5 days of regret. Before you react, pause. Before you reply to that message, pause. Before you say something you can't take back, pause. 5 seconds. That's all it takes to switch from emotion to logic. In that pause, your brain reboots. Your heart slows down. Your perspective widens. You step back and see the bigger picture. And when you respond instead of react, you lead instead of follow. The difference between the emotionally weak and the emotionally strong is that pause. The weak let the moment take over. The strong take over the moment. That's what emotional control looks like in real life. You have to stop letting small things pull you out of position. You can't let every insult, every inconvenience, every mistake dictate your day. That's not discipline. That's emotional slavery. And you're better than that. Every time you lose your temper, you lose control. Every time you complain, you lose control. Every time you let anger, jealousy, or frustration run your behavior, you lose control. The people who control you are the ones who control your emotions. So stop handing out that power so easily. You don't need their approval. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to defend every opinion. You don't need to win every argument. You need to win yourself. That's the real goal, to become emotionally independent. To not let the moods of others decide your mindset. To not let temporary emotions create permanent damage. To be the calm in the storm, not the chaos in the calm. Because here's the truth. Emotionally reactive people make impulsive decisions. Emotionally disciplined people make intelligent decisions. And intelligence wins long after emotion fades. Control your reaction, or lose your direction. It's not about being cold. It's about being clear. It's not about being emotionless. It's about being emotionally mature. You have a choice. Every single time. When someone disrespects you, you have a choice. When plans fail, you have a choice. When you're angry, tired, anxious, you have a choice. React with emotion or respond with discipline. The disciplined mind doesn't chase chaos. It redirects it. The disciplined mind doesn't get lost in feeling. It converts feeling into focus. That's mastery. Think about high-level performers, athletes, entrepreneurs, soldiers. They feel fear, pressure, frustration, just like you. But they've trained their response. They've practiced composure. They've mastered the art of not reacting to everything that moves. They understand, emotions are signals, not commands. You need to learn the same. When emotion rises, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? What's the best move, not the fastest move? What's my goal right now, and does this reaction serve it? That's emotional leadership. That's how you stop being reactive and start being strategic. You don't need to be ruled by emotion. You need to use emotion as fuel. Anger can drive you. Pain can shape you. Fear can focus you. But only if you're in control. Don't suppress your emotions, discipline them. Don't deny them, direct them. Don't fear them, master them. That's the difference between emotional chaos and emotional clarity. Chaos reacts. Clarity responds. Chaos destroys. Clarity builds. And the bridge between the two is self-control. So here's what you do, starting today. When you feel your emotions spike, stop. Take a breath. Pause for 5 seconds. Think before you act. Don't let a 5-minute emotion destroy a 5-year goal. You have to remind yourself, you are not your feelings. You are the one observing them. You are the one choosing what to do with them. That's power. That's freedom. That's discipline. And the more you practice, the stronger it gets. Every time you pause instead of reacting, you reinforce control. Every time you breathe instead of arguing, you train restraint. Every time you choose composure over chaos, you're winning the inner battle. So repeat it until it sticks. Control your reaction, or lose your direction. Say it when you're angry. Say it when you're tested. Say it when you feel weak. Because it's the truth. Emotional control is the foundation of leadership. It's the armor of discipline. It's the quiet strength behind every great achievement. And without it, nothing you build will last. When you master your emotions, you stop being a victim of the moment and become the architect of your future. You stop fighting battles that don't matter. You stop breaking things you worked hard to build. You stop letting temporary feelings sabotage permanent goals. You become calm, focused, dangerous. Because the calm one always wins. That's the art of discipline, to be unshaken when everyone else is losing control. To stand tall in chaos. To think clearly when everyone's panicking. To choose purpose over reaction. Control your reaction or lose your direction. That's the rule. That's the challenge. That's the way forward. Transition. You've learned to command your emotions, to pause before reacting, to lead yourself instead of being led by impulse. Now it's time to take that control even deeper into action. Because discipline isn't just about control, it's about doing hard things when no one's watching. Let's build that next. Chapter 3. The Discipline of Doing Hard Things. Growth is never comfortable. Comfort is the enemy of progress. If you want results, you have to chase the hard path. Every time you choose easy, you train your brain to run. Every time you avoid discomfort, you reinforce weakness. That's the brutal truth. You have a choice. You can take the path of least resistance, or you can take the path that builds strength. Most people take the easy path. They avoid struggle. They wait for life to give them comfort. And they wonder why they're stuck. That's the key. Avoiding difficulty doesn't make life easier. It makes you weaker. Think about it. Every time you choose what's simple, convenient, and painless, your brain learns to take shortcuts. You reinforce avoidance. You reinforce fear. You reinforce laziness. And over time, those small choices compound into a life that is mediocre, frustrated, and unfulfilled. You don't want that life. That's why the disciplined person chooses pain. Not for the sake of suffering, but for the sake of growth. The disciplined person uses discomfort as fuel. The undisciplined person runs from it, complains about it, and hides behind excuses. You have a choice. You can suffer now, or you can suffer later. Do what's hard now so life becomes easy later. Say it again. Do what's hard now so life becomes easy later. That's the mantra of discipline. That's the rule that separates winners from spectators. Think about athletes, soldiers, entrepreneurs. Every one of them has a moment when quitting looks appealing. Every one of them has the opportunity to take the easy road. But they don't. They embrace the struggle. They push through the fatigue. They persist when others stop. And that's what gives them the edge. Discipline is doing what you don't want to do because you know it will shape who you need to be. It's showing up when motivation is gone. It's running the extra mile when everyone else is resting. It's picking up the weight, writing the page, or making the call that feels uncomfortable, but necessary. You have to understand the power of delayed discomfort. Suffer with purpose now, so life becomes easier later. Skip the hard work today, and regret will hunt you tomorrow. Pain is inevitable. The question is whether you let it shape you or break you. The undisciplined person waits for perfect conditions. They wait for energy, for motivation, for mood, for opportunity. They wait for life to be easier. And life never complies. Discipline doesn't wait. Discipline acts. Discipline chooses action over comfort. Let's break it down into action steps. Step 1. Identify the task that scares you or challenges you. Step 2. Commit to doing it today. Step 3. Repeat until resistance becomes habit. Every time you act despite discomfort, you teach your brain a critical lesson. I am stronger than my excuses. You replace fear with confidence. You replace hesitation with momentum. You replace weakness with muscle memory for courage. Here's an example from real life. A young entrepreneur knows that cold calling potential clients is uncomfortable. Most people avoid it. Most people let fear control them. But the disciplined person picks up the phone. Every call is uncomfortable. Every rejection stings. But each call builds resilience. Each call builds skill. Each call builds results. That's the difference between those who succeed and those who complain. Pain is a teacher. Discomfort is a guide. But you have to show up for the lesson. You have to lean into it, not run from it. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need to be ready. You just need to act. Remember, life does not reward comfort. Life rewards action. Life rewards consistency. Life rewards courage. And courage is forged in the moments you do what you don't want to do. Do what's hard now so life becomes easy later. Do it in small ways. Do it in big ways. Do it in moments no one sees. Do it in moments everyone will see. You have a choice. You can keep running from discomfort, or you can face it head-on. Choose discomfort. Embrace the challenge. Push past the resistance. That's the only way to grow. That's the only way to develop unshakable discipline. Think about your future self. The person you want to become is waiting on the other side of pain. The life you want requires sacrifice today. The skills you need demand struggle now. You either suffer with purpose today, or you suffer with regret later. And regret is far more painful than hard work ever will be. That's the principle. Do what's hard now so life becomes easy later. Say it again. Say it every morning. Write it down. Tattoo it in your mind. Because every time you remember it, you're choosing strength. Every time you act on it, you're rewiring your brain. Every time you lean into discomfort, you're building a foundation for success that no one can take away. Discipline is not about avoiding pain. Discipline is about using pain. It's not about seeking comfort. It's about embracing the struggle and letting it shape you. When you do what's hard, you break old habits. You redefine what's possible. You train your mind to overcome resistance automatically. You create momentum that no excuse can stop. You become unstoppable. That's why discipline is the silent currency of winners. They don't announce it. They don't seek applause. They simply do what needs to be done every day without hesitation, without excuse, without permission. You have a choice. You can stay comfortable, or you can build strength. You can stay stagnant, or you can grow. You can avoid struggle, or you can master it. Remember, growth hides behind discomfort. Avoiding the hard things trains your brain to run. Embrace the hard things and you train your brain to lead. Do what's hard now so life becomes easy later. Every choice matters. Every struggle counts. Every disciplined action compounds into power. You don't need their permission to act. You don't need anyone to cheer you on. You just need to decide. Decide to do the hard work. Decide to take the hard path. Decide to win the inner battle. And here's the transition. You've embraced the discomfort. You've learned that growth lives where pain exists. Now, it's time to apply that same discipline in silence, away from the noise, away from approval. Because the strongest victories are often the quietest. Chapter 4. The power of silent progress. That you've been told that success requires an audience. You've been told to post, to brag, to announce every step of your journey. Stop listening to that noise. The truth is the opposite. Success thrives in silence. Talking drains energy. Doing multiplies it. That's the key. Every moment you spend explaining, justifying, or broadcasting your grind is a moment stolen from actual execution. Every "look at me" post, every "watch me succeed" claim, every attempt to prove your worth, it's wasted effort. Real growth doesn't need applause. Real growth doesn't need likes, retweets, or comments. Real growth builds quietly, invisibly, internally. You have a choice. You can chase validation or you can chase results. You can seek approval or you can seek mastery. You can talk about your goals or you can quietly achieve them. And the difference between the two is discipline. Think about the loudest people you know. The ones constantly posting, showing off, explaining themselves. How many of them are actually achieving the deep results they claim? Very few. Noise often masks insecurity. Noise often replaces action. Noise often hides inconsistency. Discipline grows when no one is watching. Discipline is built in the quiet hours, when you wake up early, when you grind while the world sleeps, when you do what's hard and say nothing. That's the secret. Work in silence. Let consistency speak. Repeat it. Work in silence. Let consistency speak. Do it every day. Let your actions, not your words, tell the story. Here's the harsh truth. Results are silent. Results don't shout. Results don't announce themselves. Results don't need validation to exist. The moment you start talking about what you're doing, You give your energy away. You're feeding the ego, not building capability. You have a choice. You can be loud and distracted, or quiet and unstoppable. You can chase recognition, or you can chase mastery. And the difference is massive. Look at the most successful people in the world. They aren't constantly posting about their work. They aren't asking for validation. They are quietly building, consistently showing up, and letting results speak for themselves. That's the power of silent progress. It's not about showing off. It's not about proving yourself. It's about becoming a machine of quiet execution. Every habit, every discipline, every action compounds silently. You don't see it immediately, but it builds strength that's impossible to ignore. You have to stop thinking that recognition equals achievement. Achievement comes from execution. Achievement comes from consistency. Achievement comes from the discipline to do the work when no one is watching. That's the key. That's where winners live. Every time you announce your efforts before results exist, you cheat yourself. You let the noise distract you. You let validation become the goal instead of results. And the more you talk, the less progress you actually make. So here's the practical method. Do your hardest work privately. Track your progress internally, not publicly. Celebrate only after results are undeniable. You don't need anyone's permission to succeed. You don't need likes, comments, or validation. You just need to show up. You just need to execute. You just need to commit. Consistency compounds quietly. Momentum grows silently. Habits solidify when repeated without fanfare. And eventually, results speak so loudly that no one can ignore them. Think about it in real terms. A writer writes every day in private. A programmer codes every night while the world sleeps. An athlete trains relentlessly, with no audience, no applause, no recognition. And when the results come, they're undeniable. All the noise before the results is meaningless. All the bragging before mastery is wasted energy. Discipline thrives in obscurity. Strength is forged in isolation. Excellence is cultivated in silence. You have a choice. You can broadcast your struggle or you can embrace the grind. You can chase approval or you can chase results. And only one of these leads to real transformation. Here's the repeated mantra you need to remember. Work in silence. Let consistency speak. Say it every morning. Say it before starting your day. Say it whenever you feel the urge to show off, explain yourself, or prove your worth. Repeat it until it becomes a rule, not just a phrase. Real growth is invisible. It doesn't care if anyone sees it. It doesn't rely on applause. It doesn't bend to public opinion. It happens quietly, day after day, action after action, habit after habit. You have to internalize that. You have to let go of the ego's need to be recognized. You have to be willing to suffer, work, and improve quietly. Because discipline grows faster when no one's watching. Every quiet action compounds into undeniable strength. Every silent victory builds momentum. Every internal battle you win reinforces your capacity to do more, to endure more, to achieve more. You don't need permission to be great. You don't need permission to act. You don't need anyone to see you succeed. The results will speak. And when they do, no one will remember the noise. They will only see the results. So stop broadcasting your grind. Stop talking about the work before it's done. Stop seeking approval. Start doing. Start showing up. Start building silently. Discipline grows quietly. Momentum compounds silently. Strength builds in the shadows. You have a choice. You can waste your energy on noise, or you can invest it in action. You can chase applause, or you can chase excellence. And the difference is what separates the average from the extraordinary. Remember, the loudest people usually have the least results. The quiet ones who show up every day, they are unstoppable. They are the winners. They are the disciplined. They are the masters of silent progress. Work in silence. Let consistency speak. Repeat it. Live it. Breathe it. Because the world doesn't reward noise. It rewards results. And results are earned quietly, privately, consistently. Transition. You've learned the power of silent progress, the strength in working without recognition, and the discipline that grows in obscurity. Now, it's time to take all this discipline, emotional control, hard work, and quiet execution, and fully integrate it into your identity. Because true self-discipline isn't just what you do, it's who you become. Chapter 5. Becoming unshakable. Discipline as identity. Discipline isn't something you do. Discipline isn't a habit you pick up or a routine you follow. Discipline is who you are. It's your identity. It's the lens through which you see the world. If you haven't made discipline who you are, you're still a victim of circumstance, emotion, and habit. You have a choice. You can remain someone who occasionally acts disciplined, or you can become someone whose default mode is discipline. That's the key. It's not about forcing yourself to follow rules. It's about becoming the type of person who doesn't even consider breaking them. Think about it. When discipline is identity, it doesn't require motivation. It doesn't need approval. It doesn't wait for inspiration. It just happens. You get up. You train. You work. You execute. You follow through. No negotiation. No debate. No excuses. It starts with repetition, identity repetition. Every morning, tell yourself, I do what I said I'd do, no matter how I feel. Say it aloud. Write it down. Repeat it until your mind accepts it as truth. Because the brain cannot distinguish between repeated belief and reality. The more you affirm your identity as a disciplined person, the more your actions align automatically. You don't need anyone's permission to define yourself. You don't need a coach, a mentor, or a friend to approve it. You have everything you need inside. Decide who you are. Decide your standards. Decide that discipline is non-negotiable. Let's make this practical. Step 1. Define the non-negotiables. Wake up on time. Train your body. Write, plan, execute. Follow through. Whatever it is, make it part of your identity, not just your schedule. Step 2. Act on them daily, no matter how you feel. Feel tired? Do it anyway. Feel unmotivated? Do it anyway. Feel frustrated or scared? Do it anyway. This is the essence of identity-based discipline. You act not because you feel like it. You act because that's who you are. Step 3. Eliminate negotiation with yourself. No bargaining. No exceptions. No excuses. Every compromise erodes identity. Every skipped action weakens the structure you're building. The disciplined mind executes by default. No discussion. No hesitation. No delay. You have a choice. You can be someone who negotiates with excuses, or you can be someone who executes automatically. That's the difference between the weak and the unshakable. Consider real-world examples. Elite athletes, soldiers, entrepreneurs, artists. They don't wake up debating whether they should train, work, or practice. It's automatic. It's ingrained. They are disciplined. They've internalized it so deeply that their actions no longer depend on external circumstances. That's what you must do. Stop thinking in terms of I have to, and start thinking in terms of I am. I am disciplined. I do what I said I'd do. I follow through. Every time you remind yourself, you reinforce the identity. Every time you act, you strengthen it. Every time you refuse to negotiate with excuses, you solidify it. And here's the truth. Once you internalize discipline, it becomes unshakable. Life will throw chaos at you. People will test you. Situations will tempt you to quit. But you won't waver. Because you aren't acting. You are. Discipline as identity is freedom. It's freedom from procrastination. It's freedom from emotional impulsivity. It's freedom from inconsistency. It's freedom from excuses. And the more you live it, the more unshakable you become. This is not a shortcut. It's not a quick fix. It's a lifetime practice. But it compounds relentlessly. Every day you execute, you reinforce the truth. I am disciplined. Every day you resist excuses, you teach your mind that you don't bend. Every day you uphold your standards, you strengthen the foundation of who you are. Let's get practical again. Create a short list of non-negotiables. Morning routine, work habits, exercise, reading, journaling, meditation, whatever builds you. Then repeat the identity phrase, I do what I said I'd do, no matter how I feel. Every time temptation arises, repeat it. Every time fatigue sets in, repeat it. Every time doubt creeps in, repeat it. Your identity will override your excuses. Discipline becomes automatic because identity is more powerful than feeling. You don't need to negotiate. You don't need motivation. You don't need permission. You just do. That's the ultimate power. And when you live this way, it changes everything. Your decisions become easier. Your time becomes yours. Your energy becomes focused. Your results become inevitable. You no longer fight battles you can't win. You stop wasting effort on chaos, distraction, and weakness. You execute, build, and dominate. You have a choice. You can continue being inconsistent, fragile, and reactive. Or you can decide, I am disciplined. I do what I said I'd do. That's the difference between ordinary and unshakable. That's the difference between fleeting results and lasting achievement. Remember this. Discipline isn't something you act out. Discipline is who you are. Discipline is identity. Discipline is the automatic engine that drives every victory. Repeat the mantra one final time. I do what I said I'd do, no matter how I feel. Make it your standard. Make it your law. Make it your identity. Once you do, you will notice something incredible. Life stops breaking you. Challenges stop shaking you. Pressure stops controlling you. You move through the world with calm, unshakable authority. You no longer negotiate with weakness. You no longer argue with excuses. You no longer chase motivation. You execute. You deliver. You dominate. That is becoming unshakable. That is discipline as identity. That is winning the inner battle. You've learned to stop waiting for motivation. You've mastered your emotions. You've done hard things when no one else would. You've embraced silent progress. And now, you've become discipline itself. The final step is simple, yet powerful. Integrate everything you've learned and commit to living it every single day. Because victory is no longer about chance, it's about identity. Discipline is not punishment, it's freedom. Freedom from emotions that control you. Freedom from laziness disguised as comfort. Freedom from the noise of comparison. You've learned that the real enemy isn't outside you. It's the version of you that seeks ease over excellence. From this day forward, every time you feel resistance, remind yourself, this is the test. This is the war. Because every decision you make builds or breaks your identity. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your systems. So build systems that never break. Master the art of showing up. Dominate the inner battle. And remember, discipline is the proof that you've decided who's in control.